Hi, I'm Nina. This is Mori Makes, episode 3, and we are doing the Big Bot Bash. The Big Bot Bash is from Bill Making Stuff. It's where you take the generator he made, roll a d20 to find attributes to certain body parts, and make a scratch build, kit bash, or sculpt with them. I rolled my die and got a 3 for head, 3-headed, a 14 for arms, which is stick, 17 for body, which makes it meaty, and a 6 for triple jointed legs. The flavor was 8 for assassin. This time the generator looks a little different. You can make an illustration. With these attributes, the adventure begins. I did indeed try to build a junk bot, and I did indeed have a cheeky little crash out, but I am thankful I got to participate with an illustration in the end, but more on the crash out and failed attempts later. After scrapping the whole scratch bot idea, I came up with this guy. It has all the things we need: 3 heads, triple jointed, meaty body. The sticky arms kinda worked. They're long and lanky, kinda like a stick, and flavor is assassin, which I sadly forgot about, but we can save that one for another day. I did get 3 of the 5 prompts, and that's good for now. I wanted to use this video to talk about the creative process and shine a light on the more tumultuous parts of it. If you are wanting to do creative things and are intimidated by it or are new to the whole thing, I hope this video finds you. While reflecting on these past weeks making this, I feel I had ran into all and every messy part of creativity, and it would be inauthentic to only show the successes of the process without telling the troubles experienced. Mainly because it was, in fact, the bad parts that took over most of this project. This illustration was at the very end of the weeks-long journey I went through. Planning, sketching, and material collection is essential to the process if you want to avoid what I went through. But there are moments where you don't plan, you don't sketch, and just fly by the seat of your pants. And if you do, you might experience the chaos that I went through. And it took me weeks. Although it was a wretched process, I know I will be a better artist because of it, and I will be that much better at understanding myself, too. So I didn't plan or sketch with the first few trash bots I built, and I was enthusiastic. It was a fun adventure to take cardboard and make little legs and play around. I felt I could get a better understanding of it if I just dove right in. Eventually, I realized I had underestimated the need for a reference for myself. I did do one sketch, but it was too intricate to make. I was too new at 3D things making, and I needed to make something simple, so I didn't make a simpler one. I just freestyled it. So my experience was that with no plan, no previous knowledge of building, and a bit of pressure to perform for the internet, I had brewed the most perfect batch of self-doubt and failure. The further along I got with building and testing materials, it started to fade from joyful ignorance and playful experimentation into insecurity and the fear of failure. I started thinking that the materials I was using were not the typical ones seen in the other YouTube videos, and I was 100% doing the imposter syndrome self-esteem shit show where I felt like what I was doing wasn't cool enough, and I started stressing out. I did, however, try to convince myself that I had to finish the project and that even though I didn't like it now, I would in the end. If I just pushed through the doubt and continued on, I would be happy and have something cool at the end. I think that is kind of the thought process in a lot of projects, actually. And it usually does work out in the end, but this time was not that. Eventually, I had a complete and total crash out. Failure is often not shown to us, but failure is one of the most essential parts of the creative process and is actually the most important thing to learn and accept. It feels horrible and can really bring you down to really low levels. But if you accept it, if you learn from it and can create something after it, you will be better. In my experience, learning to fail and learning to take a critique when it's invited are the two greatest gifts you can ever receive from becoming an artist. Failure is essential. You need to get comfortable with it. You want to understand what it's asking of you. Don't let failure be the period at the end of a sentence. Learn what needs to be changed, what you need to do to get over it, and what can benefit your art process in the future, and then implement it. Failure isn't the end, it's an invitation for reinvention. Okay? So I was feeling all of that for a while, and I didn't just start anew a minute later. All of this took days. My desk was a cluttered mess of unfinished tasks, and I avoided it for days. I was so consumed by the failure, and I knew that healing isn't immediate, and I just had to ride it out until I felt like I had a solution. For me, I realized that I needed to relax on my constraints and go back to a comfortable space that I knew I could finish, but I also wanted to challenge myself because that would push my abilities further. I had settled on painting this cyborg wolf, and I would learn how to make a pop-up. I would get to challenge myself in a space that I felt comfortable in, and I also got the benefit of it being a little 3D. I do want to add a little note that failure isn't always a part of the process, and that you will experience this kind of dread and inadequacy in every project you ever take on, because that simply isn't true. There will be projects that are easy and fun and awesome with no drama at all, but there will be moments like these, and maybe hearing it from me might help you be prepared for it and understand what is going on and that you aren't alone in this situation. It's common. We all do it. It's all good, my dude. After the all-consuming energy vampire that is fear of failure and the comrades it brought along to torment me had been defeated by me changing the constraints and changing the medium altogether, I felt the pressure lifting. It's like your heart takes the first big breath of fresh air after a long and dark and heavy slog. And now all we get to do is go back to playful experimentation, and this time in a world I am familiar with. I went back to paper and pen and tested acrylic paint on a thick paper, and if this inking pen would work on top of acrylic, good news, it does, and it's amazing. The weight is lifted, and there is a transformative moment after spending so many days in stress, and it is so beautiful. There is a tinge of emotional hangover, but it isn't so much that you can't work. I think an interesting thing that happens in this moment is you get to see things from a different perspective. It's like you can find clever ways to still be in the project, but in a different capacity. I was wondering what I wanted to be in the TTRPG online YouTube community. Originally, I wanted to be the trash build person who also did world building, but the more I work on paper, the more I am almost cosmically directed towards it. I feel invited to be different, but still a part of the whole world that is TTRPG. There are plenty of bot building wizards, and maybe I'm not that guy. Maybe I'm meant to be the layout and zine guy, the paper and design guy. We are needed in the space too. I already have experience in it, and you guys seem to like what I have been doing so far, so maybe that's what I can be. The world has opened up in a way I didn't expect and has given me trajectory I didn't even know was there. I feel as artists on the internet, we are encouraged to niche down and fit in, I want to, even, but there is a way to be the same but different, to be part of the same community but express and share your capacity in a different way, in a uniquely you way. It's a post-fear clarity, and it wouldn't have come to my attention if it wasn't for that crash out. You will go through this process of creativity. All artists do. It's like a very toxic initiation process, and if you manage to push through, you will be a better artist from it. You will also really know the depths that people and you can go through to get to the truth of your own artistic expression. And that, my friend, is fucking amazing. People can see when you're not passionate about the project, and there will always be a time when you make bad art. No one is perfect. The internet usually only shows you the best of a person. It's curated and it's highly edited. This is me just trying to tell you that in reality, it's messy. There are negative feelings and struggles, and that is actually an essential part of making art. I couldn't make this video without talking about how intense the feelings of failure were, because it literally took weeks for me to get here. The video is actually late on its release date because this was such an emotional journey that I had to go on and process to get to where I am now, to where the video is at now. Let's be so for real right now. I have hours of attempts of making a trash build, and actually, I would like to talk about something new. If you made it this far, leave a in the comments and tell me what you think of this. Please like and subscribe. Next video, we'll be back to our usual lore dumping world building. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Which is actually coming soon, I swear.